Who just oofed me? Hazmat? We're about to go live anyway. I mean live, like actually live, let's go ahead and do it. Live from twitch.tv/Charlie Drex, this is the Charlie Drexperience. And here's your host, Charlie Drex. Yes, hello, that's me. I'm Charlie. That is my name, Charlie Drex. Charles Drex, thank you. You're a wonderful audience. Oh man, you guys are great. You're just... Oh man, I can feel the love in the air. I mean, like, in a platonic sense. Not like a romantic sense. Anywho, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Charlatans and, other viewers, we'll say. Good evening and welcome to episode number 5 of the Charlie Drexperience. It's me, it's your boy, Charlie, the Drex of his name. Alright, we gotta cut the... All right, we had to cut the intro music. I need to get my phone stream deck back to working. Anywho, hey guys, appreciate you stopping by. Let's cut straight to it. You know how we do. There's gonna be a little, I don't even know if it's gonna be 5 minutes, but there's gonna be a little update on me while we give people a chance to filter on in, and then we'll bring on the guest you're actually here to see. So, in the Charlie Drexperience, last Saturday, in case you missed it, I was playing HoloCure, and also I tried to do some Japanese study, but didn't really make anything of it. Perfect time to catch up on the HoloCure, I suppose, after like a year of missing updates, cause oh yeah, it's about to have a big update with like 9 or 10 new characters and a new meta game mode and all this other crap in like 2 weeks. Well, like a week and a half now. So I was kind of being sarcastic, but it might actually be a good time to start and catch up. I don't know. But probably going to be playing more of that. I'm thinking Saturday-ish. Hello, Papyrus me. But, you know, it's good grind content. I know Risk of Rain 2, still got to keep playing that. But it's like tomorrow night, I don't know if I'm going to be playing Rain World or Risk of Rain. I'm going to be playing some game with Rain in the title. That's almost certain. But we'll see which Rain type it is. Last night, I got kind of frustrated with myself because I was playing Transformers Fall of Cybertron, right? And I got to a point where I was like, I'm about ready to be done streaming. And then to my displeasure, it turns out that was the last mission of the game that I was on. And it would have taken like only another 15 or 20 minutes-ish. But I don't know, once I said I was going to wrap it up, I shifted fully into, alright, time to end stream mode, and just kind of gave up. We'll finish it Saturday, and then, like I said, we'll switch to, I don't know, HoloCure or something. More about me. Can I whine about Japanese a bit more? Kanji, man. These kanji are killing me. I've not even finished the entire first grade curriculum. Like, okay, mouth, right? Why is mouth ku, or kuchi, depending on context, but has the same symbol as the ro? And, well, at least katakana ro. It just makes no sense, man. Okay, I know, like, borrowed Chinese ideograms or whatever. It's still kind of frustrating. About half of these 60 memorized kanji that I have... Hold on. Whoa. What's going on? Give me a second. I lost... Hold on. Where is he? Where? I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore that. Sorry. Slight technical difficulties. We're trying something new here. Oh, there we are. Found it. Okay, let's grab that. Yeah, we'll just hold on to that. Okay. Hi, I'm back. Miss me? Okay, anyways. What was I saying? Right. About half of the 60 kanji that I've memorized, I've, like, spite memorized, which is to say, I kept getting them wrong on my little quizzes or whatever. And so I was like, okay, this is this. Like, name. I was like, okay, name is Mei and not, or it's like Mei. You know, you gotta extend out the E. This is May and nah. May, nah. And like I just remember it like out of anger more than anything. That number is going to grow as I continue the process, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to keep them straight, but I mean, no one said the process would be easy. Last little bit. If you or someone you know is looking for a spot on the Drexperience, feel free to reach out. We're booked through next week. That is to say, next week we have a guest, but then I'm out of guests. So that could be you. Conditions may apply. See details inside the box. Alrighty, time to wrap up the self-shilling and get to the meat of the program. Introducing tonight's special guests. Well, I gotta talk to management again, because I was like, gee, an alligator for a guest, really? You know, last week, what, with Abigail? I was like, what's next? A talking slime? Lo and behold, to my shock and amazement, management lined up precisely that for tonight's guest spot. But he assures me he's ready to answer questions. Oh, we just got a sub from Coleman Stryker. It ruining my monologue, but that's fine. It's for a good cause. Also, the audio is doubling. I gotta fix that. Anyway, so the slime man assures me he's ready to answer questions, and I guess I really don't have a choice because I don't want to be engulfed by him. Put your hands together for the Ooze Tuber. Hold on, where's it? Applause. There we go. Hazmat! Here he comes. Here comes the Ooze Man. What's he doing on my stage? Is he gonna eat the popcorn or whatever that is? I don't know.
Is that popcorn? Looks like a brain.
It's a AI this stage isn't real. It's all digital fakery, so
You know what? That makes a lot of sense.
So it's just like undifferentiated matter. So I guess if you want to eat that, go for it. What's going on, Hazmat?
Not a whole lot, amigo. How are things with you?
It has been a while, cause like the last time we ever directly interacted was back when I was like just starting. We did that. It remains like a formative experience for me, but the whole Golf with Your Friends collab we did.
Oh yeah, when I made all you guys play the hell map.
Yeah, that was fun. That was great fun. It was like you, Juniper Heartstrings, Savvy Avenue. I think Auxilia Genome was there. The whole crowd, the whole posse, the whole crew. But we got.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
We gotta do something like that again, man.
Really ought to, yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and start off with the easiest of the easy questions. Hazmat, who are you? What are you? That is, what are you as a VTuber, like model? What do you stream, and where can people find you on the interwebs?
All right. So I'm Hazmat. Hazmat VT on Twitch. OozeTuber on Twitter. Or, I suppose, X now. I am a... if you want to go to D&D terms, Black Pudding. If you want to go with less copyright ideas, you call me either a Black Ooze or a Black Slime. One of the most dangerous types of slimes if you don't know how to deal with us. Simply because lightning and slashing damage just makes more.
That doesn't sound very pleasant at all. So, wait. You can use that to your advantage, because you can just, like, duplicate yourself.
I mean, technically, the two new halves would have the shared, like, HP pool split between them evenly, but...
Uh-oh. I think, you just faded from reality.
Oh.
Oh, there you are.
That was weird.
That's probably my network just being crap. My network sucks sometimes.
Understandable.
Well, what do you stream? Like, that was like variety. Do you have like any specific niche?
I kind of stream just whatever the heck I feel like, honestly. A lot of the time it's games. Sometimes game shows. Occasionally weird projects that I have lined up.
Any elaboration?
Like,
okay.
So for game shows, I haven't run it in a while, but 3 times so far I've run a project I'm calling VTuber Squares, which is essentially just a modern interpretation with VTubers of the game show Hollywood Squares or Celebrity Squares if you're British.
Mm.
When it comes to weirder stuff, uh, one idea I've got coming up, we'll see when it happens, is VTuber Cringe Court, where I'm going to bring in VTubers, make them watch their own clips out of context, and have chat vote whether they are cringe or not based on that clip.
That sounds like a recipe for either ultimate Kino, if you will, if you want to use the expression, or just pure shame and degradation. In a fun way,
Ideally,
of course.
right. The other part of it is I'm going to give chat access to 2 different text to speech voices where they can act as a defense or prosecuting attorney in the matter, since it will be court, right?
Right, right. So, are you gonna like have any sort of Phoenix Wright sound effects in there?
I might. The biggest thing I'm waiting on right now is a background from Wesley K. Dance.
Hmm.
After that, the first person I've gotten to agree to take part in this is Grimmy VT.
Interesting, interesting. Well, I, for one, would definitely. I am very much a clip maker of my own stuff. I have a lot of clips, so I would definitely be down to see if my judgment on what's clip worthy is correct or not. Because maybe I've been doing it wrong the whole
Fair.
time.
I mean, won't know to check it out, right? To
Mhm.
have the court of public opinion judge you.
Oh, I live that struggle every day. So, have you always, or sorry, let me rephrase. How long have you been doing streaming?
So, technically, I've been streaming since roughly 2010.
Okay.
It's been very on and off. But I started VTubing getting close to 2 years now. Sometime in October will be basically my 2-year anniversary. A little bit past technically, but I did my first year celebration in October, so I'll just keep that going with fun horror themed times.
Perfect time for it, of course.
Hmm.
That does answer the corollary question, which was like content creation in general. So pretty much since 2010, you've been on the internet. In some, I mean, obviously, you know, past is past, but in some capacity, since 2010, you've been kind of lurking about.
Right, exactly.
Have you always had an artistic or creative background? Like, were you in band as a kid, or were you in drama? What do you call it? Theater or something?
So I I did spend a lot of my school years in taking art classes, right? And I did spend a little bit of time in band, but beyond that, not really.
So,
Gaming's always been like my biggest thing. And art at one point I thought about trying to go for like graphic like a oh what's it? Concept art kind of deal. But I quickly found out that was not within really my skill set.
well,
It's not as well to get a job in.
you take the shot and maybe you fall a little short, but I mean, so long as you kind of recalibrate yourself and figured out before you invested too much time and effort into it,
Yeah.
because you don't want to sink years and years trying to do something and then realize, man, I'm not getting any better and I'm not very good as it stands.
Right.
Well, what motivated you to do, let's just say VTubing specifically? What motivated you to
Yeah.
become a VTuber?
Honestly, even when I streamed back in 2010, I didn't like the idea of cam streaming. This is a fun way to give myself personality and movement on screen without having to take that full jump into being a cam streamer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to streaming and VTubing, it never really was something I thought I'd ever make into a career, you know? It's always been, this sounds fun. Let's share what I love with people.
Right. Just kind of give it a shot, and I'm just having fun with the whole thing. You know, you're not. So you're, which so far I haven't had anyone who's like this, but you're not one of those people who's like, oh, I'm gonna be, I'm gonna make a living off of this. You're just streaming. You're having fun. You're just kind of having a good time, and if people want to join you on that good time, so much the better.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, let's go ahead and kind of dig into that, though. I mean, okay, obviously, we're all here to have fun. We're all here because we want to be here. But do you have any goals? And by goals, so it can be something like, oh, I want to be a partner on Twitch. Or it can be something more, let's say, abstract, along the lines of, oh, I wish that, I was invited to a convention, as a meet and greet guest, in some capacity. Like, either you become a big enough indie VTuber or you become a corpo, but, like, something like that. So do you have, like, any sort of
Right.
goals like that, dreams, aspirations?
So I do want to become partner. That's definitely something I want to work towards. And it would be really cool to get that invite saying, hey, do you want to come host a panel for us at whatever con?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like that VTuber Squares thing would potentially be a fun idea to bring to a con.
It definitely would.
But beyond that, my biggest goal is just making content people can enjoy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to have a creative outlet that people feel I feel like people are, you know, looking forward to.
Sure, sure. So it's definitely the journey first before the destination for you.
Yeah, by a long shot.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I feel like I'm the same way. I don't go out of my way saying, I'm sorry, I'm frozen. There we go, I'm unfrozen. I don't go I didn't come into this being like, oh, I'm gonna make a living off of this. I'm just here to have fun, and we'll see where the road takes me.
Right. Especially like if you go into this and you haven't had prior experience in actual content creation, expecting to become a partner with any kind of speed, you, you're sorely mistaken. Unless you get really lucky, it's not likely.
Right. I mean, it's all about, you gotta stay on that grind, to use the really generic term that the kids use. You gotta be on that grind set. It's not gonna
Yeah,
fall into your lap. Some people think otherwise, but those people are wrong.
yeah. Even then, like you can't buy your way into success either. Yeah, because you can buy bots and embeds and whatnot, but
Mm.
Twitch sees that.
Well, I'd even take that one step further for VTubing specifically. Not that I'm gonna, like, try to start any spill any tea, but it's like, just, people who like spend however much on assets and whatever, and then,
Yep.
oh, I'm not an instant 4-view streamer. Like, no, you gotta prove yourself.
Yeah. That's one of the biggest things I tell people who are looking to get into the hobby, you know? It's like, okay, your best bet is to go find yourself a free model or start off with a relatively cheap PNG tuber setup.
Mm.
Find out if you even like streaming first.
Right, because a lot of people don't realize what it's like to actually talk to yourself for hours on end. Like,
Oh yeah, no. It it's tough.
well, prior to you actually starting streaming, well, I guess VTubing, although, like, I guess this question, I feel like my questions always get derailed because the guests always have experiences that just ruin my setup, because to be fair, it's like biased based on my own, like, mindset. But the question is,
I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
and that always can lead to some fun stuff though, given the right people.
True.
But hey, nothing wrong with having your mindset kind of dictate the flow of where you think, you know?
Well, it's just my next question is, were you a viewer, I guess, of VTubers before beginning streaming? And I guess, again, gotta put that pin in it, before becoming a VTuber yourself. Like, so,
Right.
you started your content creation, however many, 10 years ago. Did you like
Right.
watch from the outside in? Did you see all these VTubers blowing up, 2019, 2020 timeframe and like watch them for a while before making your move? Or did you like immediately join in, or like what was the timeline on that?
So for me, I never got into corporate VTubers. I'm still not really.
Hmm.
I find a lot more fun in smaller VTubers who have the freedom to do the weirder stuff that corporate usually won't kind of allow as easily. Like Leonidas Umbra and his cooking streams where he does like cooking stuff with thermite.
Right. Just kind of not just playing video games while being an anime character, but like just totally wacky off the wall shit.
Yeah. It's and even then, the thing that really drew me into it was again just I could get back into the idea of I could get back into streaming, and this time have a little bit more visual personality without having to break a full anonymity. You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you also get to kind of put a little razz on it where you're not
Right.
just, you know, John, the guy who, plays video games. You're, some character.
Yeah.
So,
And
Hmm.
given like I said before, D&D terms, black pudding, it kind of shows off immediately at an instant glance the kind of things people are interested in, and that also just that instant ability to say that person reminds me of X
mm.
hobby is neat. Like you can tell from your design that you are someone who's interested in music.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my design, but like, I've never really looked at myself that closely before. I mean, obviously that is my sort of my point of my charm point is being into music, but yeah, it's like I don't really have notes or anything on my design. It's kind of I don't know, but
No,
I see
but
I see what
you
you're
have
saying.
you got those small aspects that added together say, okay, this looks like something you'd see in like a classical music kind of setting. Add it all together, and you get
I can see that. Yeah, I'm not trying to like just immediately be like, "Oh, Haz is wrong. I'm gonna correct him." But just
no, I get it.
in general, I see what you're saying. Where it's like you get to manifest visually aspects of yourself, so that you don't need to waste time explaining. Oh, I'm into people with spiffy 19th century-ish Victorian clothing and you know gaudy
Yeah,
gold jewelry or whatever. For you, it's like, oh, being a slime monster.
hmm exactly.
Well, we sorry, were you gonna say something?
Oh no, it's fine.
Okie dokie. Well, that fills the banks of questions about you. Now we're gonna ask questions of you about the VTuber world.
All right.
So the first thing I'm gonna ask, and now's your chance to shout people out. Who are 3 VTubers you feel are worth watching?
All right. My top 3 probably most watched VTubers are Woozle underscore CH, oh, Grimmy VT, and Prof Bloom VTuber.
All right, let me try to get those. Woozle and who else? Sorry.
CC Hime, and I'll type
Hmm,
Prof Bloom.
I got her. Oh, how do you spell her name again? Oh,
CECIHIME VT.
VT. Yep, we're getting there. That's her. And then Professor Bloom. Familiar. Yep, there you go.
There we go. But yeah, the 3 of them produce a lot of really fun content, and they each give very unique sort of experiences. very few VTubers kind of reach into the same sort of unhinged that Woozle does, and I definitely find a lot of fun in what he does.
Mm.
Bloom, he's got the singing going on, and it's hard to say you can't appreciate his singer, and he's a professional singer, and his ability to do that while blasting through the most ridiculous levels you've ever seen in Doom is just amazing.
Multitasking, always impressive.
Hmm.
And
And I said Cece. Did I say Grimmy? Okay. Well, Cece is Cece. It's she gets on these tangents and she goes on for so long talking about them, and it's always stuff that either I'm also slightly interested in, or things that I had no idea about that tend to just draw you in, and they always end up being weirdly comical, even if it's a serious topic.
gotta love the ADHD story time. I'm very guilty of it
Oh
myself.
yeah. I wish I could. As far as I'm aware, I'm neurotypical, and I don't have the tendencies to get into these big tangents. I wish I could, but it's just not something I do.
Well, sometimes you get off onto a completely unrelated point. Next thing you know, you're talking about like, 17th century European politics, and the original point was why Dodge is better than Ford or something. It's like how does A become B or A become L in this equation?
Yeah. It's always fun to follow those conversations.
Well, yeah, from the outside in, you get to just watch this person take off, and they're just talking about God only knows what, and you're just trying to keep up. You're
Yep.
like, sure, okay, yep, and yep. If you say, and it's like, hey, they're passionate about it, so like you can appreciate that, even if you aren't really following even what they're talking about. They sound enthusiastic enough about it, so clearly they're on a subject that they want to talk about. So just
Yeah.
wind them up and let them loose.
Yeah. It makes for a lot of fun content.
Well, you kind of hit all three pegs here. Well, you three different pegs, we'll say. But is there a favorite kind of streamer, a specific type of streamer? That is, do you like people who do crafts and stuff? Do you like people who are just variety streamers in general? Do you like Apex, like masters, people who like are into one specific game or genre?
My biggest thing is I like people who can bring unexpected twists out of things.
Hmm.
Like, even if you know what to kind of expect, they can take it somewhere that you never would have guessed it would have gone.
Okay. So like the people who have like all kinds of crazy screen effects and, well, they not screen
Uh,
effects, not keeping it. I know it's simplifying it, but like the people who just, you're not just there for a video game.
yeah. I can't. I have a hard time staying around in streams where there's constantly noises and screen effects going on. But someone who can take like my if I okay, I don't I'm gonna jump ahead to a question I think I know you have,
Hmm.
but I don't have what you would consider an Oshi, right? But if I were to take somebody outside of the VTubing community and say that was my Oshi, Charborg. The dude
I
tends to do a lot of like RP style content, but between himself, his community, and his friends, things end up going just the most absurd, entertaining ways.
I can't say I'm familiar with this content, but do you have like
Uh,
can you like kind of just like, quick summary or like an example of a type of Charborg video?
so one of his first videos I caught was edited content from a few streams he did of Grand Theft Auto 5 RP. He played a character named Ken Tucky, and played it as a criminal, running around, doing crimes, evading the police players, etc., etc. But him and his people he played with tended to get into really weird situations that they probably shouldn't have been able to get into, or keeping police at bay with things that just shouldn't have worked,
Mm.
like robbing a convenience store in the game. The hostage negotiations, Charborg decided that, oh, there is a ladybug on the wall, and if you step inside, I will shoot it.
Hmm.
And it ended up just pulling a conversation out of the policeman that gave them the time they needed to get their shit and leave.
So it was more along the lines of it was the fact that he could create a new type, like emergent content where,
Yes.
okay, I see where you're going with that. Well,
He also tends to play games and have really, really bad luck with them.
Schadenfreude, the best.
A little bit.
I'll have you know, I actually, because I do update my questions on the fly. We did get rid of the Oshi question. That became 3 VTubers worth watching because I didn't want to put you on the spot for naming a single person. And you said that you aren't really into, which is fine. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you said you aren't into corporations, which a lot of people, like, especially now, the VTuber space has just become so, like, it used to be, oh, it's the corpos, and occasionally you'd have, like, an indie pop up, but now it's, like, so many of us, and obviously myself among them, there's so many of us little guys who are just kind of out there trying to do our thing. There's so much to see that just being bound to the chains of a corporation, it's like you're limiting yourself. The same way, like, you can go watch the headline band at some concert, or you can go catch the local boys garage band playing at the bar on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the same production quality, but it's still content.
There's fun to be had at both, yeah.
But the question still remains. This one remains. Would you someday, and you can, like, qualify this with, like, you know, why you would want, you know, even if it's for cynical reasons, but would you ever want to be in a corporation?
So if I was gonna be in a corporation, I'd have to say it'd have to be one of the smaller ones that aren't so limiting in what they allow. It has to be something that's a bit more open with what you're allowed and expected to do.
Okay.
Something like Shirayuri Pro, or it's not even really a corporation, but the MSM Media, I believe, who manages Sigrid and Bird, Grimmy, Cabal, a few of those guys. It's not really a corporation in that case, but it still gives them resources and connections that allows them to do some very special things.
Okay, that's where I was sort of expecting that, you know, it's more about, because, like, you know, for some people, they'd want to join a corporation specifically because, oh, I want to work with X person. Oh, I want to, you know, well, mainly it's because I want to work with X person, but yeah, like the resources, like you said.
So, actually reminded me of something. A while ago, technically, I ended up creating a small, getting together a small group of YouTubers that we're calling Vestiary, you know, as in the wrong pronunciation of bestiary,
Right.
but with a V, because haha, VTubers.
Haha.
Bunch of inhuman VTubers. Myself, Cece, Woozle, Flavorful, and Crabclaw. And there's not been a whole lot done with that yet, but I've got some ideas that I hope I can get the others pulled into and make some fun times out of it.
Well, that'd be interesting, because I've seen that. We can call them, like, affiliations, syndicates, like little like, you're not even a corporation, you're just a group of
No,
people.
it's just a group of friends. Yeah.
But then you add like the team aspect to it, and you got like the sort of shared community that grows around that specific team, and obviously, hopefully, the individual members too. But
Exactly.
kind of pulling everyone's attention, or pulling your resources to draw attention.
Yes, exactly. Sort of working together to make sure everyone can kind of get some benefit out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if it's gonna end up being who you were mentioning before, Charborg, but is there any dream collaboration that you'd want to do? And it doesn't have to be with a VTuber. Just any content creator.
Oh, that's a hard one because I think it would be. I think the funniest one I could work with would be Ordinary Sausage. Are you aware of are you aware of his content?
Unfortunately, no. But not
Ordinary Sausage is a YouTube channel where a guy who goes by Mr. Sausage just makes random shit into sausages, puts it in a meat grinder, cooks it, rates it. It's way funnier than it has any right to be.
okay. I will say, I didn't know the channel name, but I've definitely been down the rabbit hole of watching that before. Cause like I know what you're talking about. He's a whole like blend spaghetti and meatballs and turn it into sausage. He'll blend, candy and turn it into sausage, and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yep.
A burger and turn it into sausage.
Or today he did 4 different colors of Play-Doh and turned it into a sausage.
Did he eat it?
Yes.
Is Play-Doh edible? Like
So because it's a kid's toy, Play-Doh is non-toxic and kid-friendly to eat. It still tastes like shit to
Right.
discourage them from eating it, but you can eat it.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of screwed up, but it makes sense. I mean, it's not screwed
Yep.
up. It's specifically not screwed up. It would be screwed up if it was toxic.
Yeah, or if it tasted how it smelled.
Well,
Because come on, Play-Doh smells pretty good.
to be honest, dude, I have not smelled Play-Doh in God knows how long. It's been a minute. But I will say it's kind of like Nintendo, the Switch cartridges. They
Yep.
they splash
Yep.
with the strongest bitterant in the world.
You ever put your tongue on one?
I've been morbidly curious, but I've never actually tried it.
Do it. It's worth it just to see how bad it is.
Maybe I'll try tonight. Maybe I'll try. No, you know what? Maybe I'll put that. Maybe I'll make that stream content.
Heck yeah.
Always on the grind.
Oh yeah. Trust me, it is actually horrible.
Is there anything
I
specific?
had to try it.
How was it?
Go ahead. Oh no, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Was there any sort of motivation to it? Was it for a challenge, or you just like, I'm curious?
Simply curiosity.
And that kills the cat. Or the hazmat, in this case.
But satisfaction brings it back.
True. Well, it's like, now you know, and you can tell your grandkids. Did I ever tell you about the Nintendo, or do you ever hear about the Nintendo Switch?
Back in my day, they coded video games with taste things that made them taste really bad, so babies wouldn't eat them.
I mean, hell, we're going towards the world where everything's gonna be virtual or digital, so who
God.
knows? Not that I want to start down that sad rabbit hole of depression.
Yeah, there's just like books. There is a special place in my heart for physical media.
See, I don't have that attachment. Like, I understand it. I'm not by any means do I, say, oh, you're so dumb for collecting. But like, I've never been particularly interested in the concept. Like I can't see myself collect. And it's not because I don't have space. It's not because, not like that I'm rich or anything, but like, I can afford to buy games digital and stuff. So I could buy it boxed, but it's just like, it never appealed to me, and I understand why. I absolutely understand why people do it. It's just like for me though, it just I don't feel anything from it. Of course, once like Steam finally goes offline and
Hmm.
all the networks
That
and
that's
stuff.
that's it for me. I like having permanent access to the things I've bought.
And you remember
It,
back with Xbox One or whatever it was when it was on
oh
launch,
gosh.
on launch, and you couldn't share games or whatever, and Sony made that hit piece ad where they were like, "Here's how to share a game on PS4. Here you go.
Hmm.
Thanks."
And and then they turned 180 on that one.
No, I'm pretty sure they did a 360 and moonwalked away.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm pretty sure you can't share with more than like one other PS4 anymore.
That wouldn't surprise me. You know, they can be the good guy, relatively speaking, but then when you actually get into the weeds, you know, it's just as bad, just in a different way.
Oh yeah, you look into much of the lawsuit between the FCC and Microsoft lately over the Bethesda purchase?
I thought it was Activision,
Oh yes, Activision. Yes,
because they already have
Activision Blizzard.
Bethesda.
Yeah,
No, it was like, I think it was unironically centered around Call of Duty, right?
it wasn't censored or centered around it, but that was a big thing. And like, there's emails of, I believe, the Sony president saying, "Oh yeah, we know that's not going to be a problem, but we can bring it up in court and make that an issue in court."
It's just, you know, all these, not to like go full old man yells at cloud mode, but it's just so many
Do it,
people,
do it.
so many people just they have their horse in the race. It's like Steam, for example. Steam's great,
Mhm.
but you know, people are like, "Oh, Epic Game Store sucks cuz blah blah blah." And Epic Game Store is probably worse relatively speaking, but Steam still has like ultimate authority over your game
Yeah.
permissions, and you know, they can shut down the servers and they can delist stuff.
Yep.
And
Yep. Speaking of delisting stuff, you got any games that have been delisted?
I actually have been playing. A couple weeks ago, I played Transformers War for Cybertron, and I actually was just playing last night, and will be finishing on Saturday, Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Ironically
Ah,
enough,
nice.
they were Activision. It was so this,
Oh yeah,
yeah, because
they took those off because they didn't want to renew licenses, right?
Activision, Hasbro, or whoever it was that manufactures Transformers, Activision lost the license for Transformers. So yeah, they couldn't.
Ah,
But fortunately, while they delist it from the store and you can't buy it anymore, you can, if you still have it, install and play it. So that's cool.
yep. Yeah, I think I've got Social Interaction Trainer, which is a weird as hell game. I probably should stream that at some point. And City of Heroes.
Isn't that an MMO?
Sure is. It was on Steam way back when. It was the first MMO I ever paid for, actually. The first MMO with a subscription I got into.
Hmm. I think my first was Eve, which probably says a lot about me as a human being.
Ah, I like them spreadsheet simulators, huh?
Well, it's like I got into it and then I got out of it and then I got back into it and became like, you know, tried to be one of those guys you hear about in the gamer news articles where it's like every once in a while
Oh,
you hear
yeah.
about like, oh, this person joined a corporation, robbed them of, you know, tens of thousands of dollars equivalent of whatever. And
Yeah.
now realistically, I just pressed F1 a lot and died a lot, and that's about all I ever did. I paid for
Oh,
the
jeez.
privilege.
Yep. Yep. Uh, Eve has a lot of crazy stories behind it.
But it's very much the game is built on its emergence, which obviously, hell, even CCP, the CCCP, No, CCP is the Communist Party. No, that's Communist China. Anyway, the makers of Eve,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's CCP, right?
I think so. Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't know.
they designed the game. Everything is player run. There's a handful of stuff that's seeded in the
Yep.
market, like skill books and stuff, but like all the material, as in like weaponry and stuff,
Yeah.
shields, ships, whatever, everything's built by players. So the whole game is emergent by design.
Yeah.
But that comes with the downside of if you're not ready to like you have to be in DM mode mentally
Yeah.
where you're willing to be the one telling the story. You're not going to have the story told to you. You have to create the story. You can appreciate it after it's made. You can appreciate other people's stories, but like you yourself, you're not going to be like, you'll do some cool stuff, but it's going to be totally ancillary to the entire story of what happened.
Yeah. It's kind of there's nothing set in stone. Whatever happens is the result of you and other people.
And for some people, it's like, without, and nothing wrong with it, but for some people, having that sort of just complete open endedness, it's like sandbox games, I suppose, where if you aren't
Yeah.
ready to create and imagine and kind of insert your own thoughts and ideas into the world,
Yep.
it's not going to do anything for you. Or not as much, I
Yeah.
should say.
I mean, you have risk, right?
Mm,
And that risk gives you something to care about on your journey.
mm-hmm.
Because to make an actual adventure out of a journey, there has to be something that you're trying to do. There has to be a goal.
Right.
And even if that goal is as simple as just, exploring, there's still risk because it's a multiplayer game.
And some people are just really, really risk averse.
Yeah. And if you can't handle knowing that there's a good chance that whatever you've worked towards so far will be thrown into the dust and stamped on, not the game for you.
I mean, hell, it's a surprise that I did put up with Eve for like, a year, however long I played it, because like I can't stand roguelike slash permadeath specifically. Like I
Yeah.
just I can't do it, man. I never mind that all my like, attention will drift away and I'll just stop playing it, but in a game where
Hmm.
I can just lose it all and have no option to go back or fix it or whatever, like I don't know. I maybe
Yeah.
I'm just weak-willed or something, but
No, I mean, there's definitely a feeling of loss whenever you lose hours, potentially hours of work, and that's understandable. It's that feeling of loss has to translate into an experience you can look back on and appreciate happening. If it doesn't translate well into that feeling, it's not worth it.
wise words. Did I freeze again?
You
Man,
might have.
my silly internet. People insist that people insist that you can connect an iPhone using the phone cable, but like you have to like install iTunes and like it doesn't work for me. Like
Ah,
like I don't I've tried literally spent hours trying to get it to work cuz obviously I don't want to have my phone on Wi-Fi cuz then my desktop needs to be connected to Wi-Fi in addition to the wired internet. I think that like
yep.
causes fits and starts cuz like my computer's like, "Bro, you're on wired connection. Why are you bothering with this Wi-Fi stuff?"
Yeah, there was a while where I had really bad connections in collabs simply because I thought I was being smart, having two different Wi Fi things connecting my PC to the same network, just in case one dropped. No, it
Mm,
caused problems. It caused a lot of problems.
because it was jumping between one and the other, I'm sure.
Yep, yep. Got rid of that and no more problems.
One of these days, I'll figure it out because people insist that it's got to be, it's got to work, right? There's got to be a way.
Yeah, I ended up going the webcam plus 3070 route.
Yeah, because they support RTX whatever video decoding or whatever the crap.
Oh no, it's just that the RTX GPUs have decent facial recognition,
Hmm.
so they work pretty well for VTubing.
Well, I had already kind of. It's not sunk cost fallacy, I promise. But I had already kind of jumped for the iPhone because it was a secondhand one. I want to make that clear. I didn't spend
Yep,
like
yep.
$800 on like the iPhone 12 or whatever. It's I want to say 10, whatever the
Yeah, X is the real popular one to go for
yeah
that.
the first generation where it had the infrared cameras or whatever.
Yep.
Which does, at the very least, it's not optimal, but at the very least, I can stream in complete darkness, and because it's IR cameras, it tracks decently well. Whereas with a
Hell yeah.
webcam, I'm sure you need to like, keep yourself at least somewhat lit.
Yep. Gotta always have that light running.
So you got trade-offs one way or the other. It's no solution's perfect. And besides, what am I talking about cameras for? We're actually real anime characters or slime characters, and there's no.
Gotta have the camera to broadcast that, even still.
This is true. And, we can just kind of warp around reality however we feel. Like, if we want to, like, like, if I want to do, we'll do this, right? I'll be like this. And you can, like, you want to stick to the ceiling? I'm going to stick you to the ceiling. Is that cool with you?
Sure, yeah.
Right. And actually, we'll swap around because, like, you're facing that way. Oh, no, oh, I just bound us together. You're sticking to me. Shit.
Oh, no.
God, why are you so sticky? Oh no, it's worse. This is not planned. I promise this is not planned. This is not a gimmick. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay. All right, I fixed it. We're good now. Don't worry, guys. Everything's under control. All right. Oh, you're blocking chat that way. Okay, there we go. We'll stick you right there. Cool. And you'll be like really like almost Spider-Man Mary Jane close to me.
Oh. All right.
All right, so with all of that aside, we can move on to the next segment, which I don't know. I might be kind of this is a shot in the dark because I don't really know you, if I may be so blunt. Because like, I mean,
No,
we're
it's fine.
friendly
Yeah.
enough, but are you into anime even?
Yes and no. I never got really heavy into it, but I can appreciate a good anime.
Mm.
Like Trigun, Rurouni Kenshin, and Yu Yu Hakusho are always going to be just huge favorites of mine. Always.
Well, that was going to be my first question because we're on the anime segment, and the first question is, what's your favorite anime and/or franchise?
Yeah.
Can you nail
If
down
if
one?
I had to pick one absolute favorite anime, it's gotta be Tengen no Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Mm-hmm. It's a classic. Do
Yeah,
the
it's
impossible, seeing the invisible.
Row, fight the power. You get it.
Mm-hmm. It's
No, it's got a good message behind it when you take it as an opposite answer to Evangelion, especially.
mm-hmm. Where it's not so much about the despair and overcoming like just loneliness and isolation. It's more about believing in people and like even Evangelion.
Understanding.
Sorry, go ahead. You might you might have it under more control, the analogy under better control than I do, but
So, where Evangelion takes and focuses on how hard it is to deal with all these very really difficult things to deal with, Gurren Lagann is more of once you do deal with these things, life is, you can do basically anything you want as long as you put the time and effort into it.
So it's like kind of surrendering to fate, surrendering to how much life sucks versus screw that. I'm going to do what I want to do, or I'm going to do what I feel like I have to do. Well, no,
Yes.
because Evangelion's kind of about like what you have to do. It's more like doing what you like in your
Can.
heart. Yeah, like just whatever just drives you
Right.
rather than worrying about, oh, it's because, I need to do this because X is counting on me, or the world's counting on me. My dad will be disappointed, my coworker friend who I also kind of want to, be with is going to get hurt if I don't. Nah, it's more just
Right.
like I want to be
These are the
strong.
things I want to do. These are the things I want to do for me. This is the culmination of my willpower.
I can vibe with that, as the kids might say.
Yeah. It's very much a humanity fuck yeah kind of situation.
It's funny because that story comes in something where the robots are the size of literally entire galaxies.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you need that sense of scale to just kind of, it's not so much about, you don't worry about the logistics of like, oh, that wouldn't actually work because like, to move, they would literally be, thousands of times faster in light speed in order to like be able to move on the scales they do. Yeah, you don't care about that. It's just background noise
It's rule
too.
of cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was
That said, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, weren't TTGL was made by Shaft, wasn't it? No,
No,
not Shaft.
it's
Trigger.
X. Yes, X Gynax workers.
Mm. So, yeah, it makes sense because yeah, that's right. Because the story was like it was basically the people are like, oh, Evangelion is way too cerebral for us. We just want to make cool shit.
Well, yes and no, because like I said, even in its inception, they thought of Gurren Lagann as a more positive answer to Evangelion.
Mm. Fair enough. Do you have a favorite genre in general?
Oh, I really can't say I do, honestly. I watch I really enjoy a lot of seinen or shonen type stuff,
Okay.
but if it's got a good story, I'll watch it.
The classic, anything that's good, I'll watch. I mean, that's right on. Some people, some people worry too much about fitting into a particular box and being like, oh, I only watch. Okay, nobody only watches isekai. That's what I was about to say. No one. Okay, some
Right.
people say that they are like all about that isekai life.
Yeah.
Look, some people, no one's perfect.
Right. Everyone's got their flaws. That's fine. You can like nothing but isekai. It's fine.
Well, to be fair, you can also like you can have isekai, but it's mecha. Isekai, but it's shonen. Isekai, but it's
Yeah.
cute girls doing cute things. Isekai, but it's magical girl. Like
Mm-hmm.
they've isekai'd into every possible. They've isekai'd isekais where it's like, oh, I'm aware that I'm in an isekai. It's like it's the same thing that
Oh.
Madoka did to the magical girl genre. Just
Yep.
the deconstruction, the this isn't fun anymore sort of thing going on.
Yeah. So, one thing I have been getting into lately is manga. I've never been much of a manga reader, but between All Bones Jones, Coat Pathos, Flavorful, and a few others, I've been reading a lot of manga.
Any favorites?
And so I've been reading Dan Da Dan, which is a fucking weird, super weird. It starts off with two school children, one guy getting bullied, who's kind of a nerd, and a sort of delinquent girl who is angry at the guy bullying the nerdy kid. They become friends, and they make a bet against each other that the nerdy kid's like, aliens are real, and the delinquent's like, no, ghosts are real. So each of them gets sent to a place where they see a lot of the other thing that they don't think is real, and are told to stay there overnight, make a bet. Both end up being real.
Oh.
It's very much a comedy where it's a recurring plot point for the nerdy kid to get his testicles stolen by the ghosts. It's not played in like an ecchi manner. It's just a weird one because the whole deal of Kintama being golden ball testicle. It's like a very spiritual kind of thing in some aspects of Eastern medicine.
Well, I'll have to take your word for it. Can't say that I'm overly familiar with it, but you sound convincing enough. I'll believe you, Slime Man.
It's the other part is it has some really, really fun and disturbing art. Like have you ever seen the poster for the "Have you seen this man in your dreams?" And it's just this really weird looking face.
It's some TikTok trend or something, isn't it?
No, it's way older than that.
Oh.
It was used as like advertising for something, but it was kind of creepy. And the Dan Dadan mangaka ended up making it into a costume for some aliens. And he drew it really well, so it looked really creepy.
Yeah, I just looked it up. I don't think I've ever seen this before. It's like the guy with the really thick eyebrows and like a really wide...
Yep.
Huh. Yeah, I don't...
Yeah, that's been around for a long time.
No, it definitely looks like it's out of a newspaper from like the 50s or something.
Not quite that old, but yeah.
This man is a person who has allegedly appeared in thousands of people's dreams since 2006.
Yep, and it's all fake, just advertising for some company.
Right. I mean, not that I'm like, oh, wow, I have seen this person. Because it's like, a lot of it's Barnum effect. You suggest something to someone and suddenly, oh, let me read you some vague things from a horoscope. Oh, that's totally me. Yeah, of course.
Wow.
That's just like a Virgo. And it's like you're actually reading the Leo horoscope. But it's all written so generically because, the whole point is to associate. Yeah, no, there was something I was seeing floating around. It was like the Umbrella Man, I think, is the one that's popping up on like TikTok.
Huh.
It's something the kids are into. It's like similar. Maybe okay, Umbrella Man's a JFK guy. Man in Dreams meme. I'm telling you, it's not this guy. It was something that's going around on TikTok.
I know there was a thing for a while with the Hat Man if you took too much NyQuil.
That's it, Hat Man. I don't remember the NyQuil part.
Yeah, there was images of people saying, "Let's take NyQuil together until we see the Hat Man." I don't get these weird ass trends.
I mean, everyone wants to be the next Slender Man or Backrooms or SCP Foundation. Everyone wants to create their own new paranormal thing.
I mean, like the NyQuil part, or ye old Tide Pods, or ye old bleach crystals.
That's just kids being stupid. That one's universal.
Yeah. Still, it's like, why even bother making that? Why put that knowledge in someone's head in a form that could really cause them damage,
I mean, some people just... I don't know if it's schadenfreude.
Want to watch the world burn.
Yeah, it's just like... It's almost like they're testing their ability to influence, right? They're seeing just what they can get away with. Like, you know, you want to see how persuasive you can be. Can you make someone believe in a mythological entity? Let's find out.
Mm-hmm. Hooray! Ah,
Uh,
jumping back to manga. The reason I brought it up to begin with, though, was Flavorful recommended me a manga, Watashi no Musuko ga Isekai Tensei Shitapoi, which is a manga about this nerdy guy who's really into isekai books,
hmm,
like light novels, and a girl from his high school who was pretty popular back then comes to him asking him to help her isekai to the same world her dead child's gone to.
interesting.
It's not an isekai at all, because it's legitimately just a mother dealing with basically light psychosis from depression of her child dying. It's a really sweet manga.
So it's like a coping mechanism sort of thing.
Yeah, she refuses to believe her kid's actually dead, so that she gets it in her mind that he must be in another world because he read all these light novels about these isekai books and all that.
Damn. That reminds me of it actually unironically is anime exclusive. It never was a manga or light novel, but there's a anime called Recreators, and it's about
Okay.
like let me put in the phrase it. So people who like it's about a bunch of mangaka and anime artists, whatever their official term is, but there's like an alternate world, or sorry, all the alternate worlds are real. The story kicks off with a similar point. A girl who's just like kind of making her own indie light novel. Um,
Okay.
did she's not around anymore, we'll say, and she caused it to herself.
Right.
Um, and so the character she created, like, transcends realities, or like crosses the borders and comes into base reality, actual reality, with her superpowers, and basically starts wreaking havoc because, like, she's traumatized by the loss of her author, and like it's kind of like a almost like a motherly sort of feeling.
Yeah.
And so like the rest of the story, it's not really like you think it'd be like, you know, the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny levels of like, wow, something cool's happening. There's a mech guy, and there's a hard-boiled detective guy, and there's the crazy yandere schoolgirl not guy. But it's
Yep.
actually, it's not so much about like their confrontations. It's more about like, you know, the effects the artists can have, and authors, because like there's one character who's like basically it's a female Guts, where just
Huh.
she lives in a shit world. Everyone around her always dies. She always fails. Nothing ever goes right. Everything's just miserable. And
Yeah.
she comes to our world, and she's like, well, what the hell? You've been writing me to have this absolutely terrible life, and you're telling me that, you know, life doesn't have to be pain with every waking moment. And obviously, you know, these are all fictional characters. Well,
Right.
fictional characters. There's the extra inception
Yeah.
layer there.
Double. Yeah. Double fictional.
But it definitely like kind of, you know, it raises the question of, you know, we come up with these characters, we come up with these stories, and okay, I'm going awfully down the path of a certain someone who believes that imaginary characters are real. If you But basically, like, yeah, like we tell all these stories. Oh wow, I locked in with my eyes wide open. Good place for my,
Oh, creepy.
good place for my connection to drop. But yeah, so like we tell all these stories, you know, the traumatic stories, the happy stories, whatever. It's like, are we trying to avoid our own personal grief? Are we trying to avoid trauma? Are we, you know, are we like sadistically inflicting it on people like that can't fight back or can't actually suffer from it? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I don't know where I'm really going with it, but I just found it an interesting anime. And of course, it was cool
Yeah,
to see, like, you know, the mech character fighting the magical girl character and stuff. And the magical
yeah,
girl character is like hilariously naive about, like, when she uses her powers in the real world, it's like her magical splash bloom or whatever actually like is a WMD that like levels the city block.
oh no,
But in her world, it's just, oh, this magical love bloom, and she just uses it. And it's just, you know, just the bad guys go away because like her world is written, you know, with minimal care about the background. It's all about her.
right.
But then when she gets to the real world, it's like, oh wow, there are consequences to my actions.
Wow. Uh,
That's one thing I love about anime, manga, light novels. Not to go too weeb about it, but there's just such a variety. You know, it's like,
yeah, there's so much fun. So many fun ideas that have been explored. It's there's so many amazing worlds and amazing characters. They're just there waiting for you to explore. Just read, see what's going on.
or you can watch another superhero movie. That sounds
Yeah,
appealing, right?
right. Man, at least the first Deadpool movie was pretty good.
It was, but it's like the movie, like, obviously it was gonna be a meme. Like they knew it was gonna be a meme. It was
Mhm.
the test trailer, whatever, was a meme. But it worked just
Yep.
because it was just so unironically embracing of the fact where they didn't care. They just made the movie that said, "Screw you, we're just gonna do whatever the hell we want, and we're gonna be, you know, accurate to the comic books," and it worked.
Yeah. So Deadpool is one of the few Western comics I've read front to back up until certain date. I forget which one. And unironically, they they could not have chosen a better actor for him. They couldn't have.
Ryan Reynolds does have quite a lot of energy in a
He
good way.
does, and yeah, his personality just matches Deadpool's happy side so well.
Well, it's like you got the thing going on with, was it Joss Whedon specifically? How like
Yeah,
the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, everyone's a smartass quip machine who talks in terse sentences and never says more than you know, spouts out punchline every 5 seconds and always has something
yep.
witty to say. Everyone just feels so samey, you know.
You know, one thing about that, at least Thor has some parts where he feels just very human. Like the whole thing in Endgame of him being getting fat and not suddenly becoming thin again when he gets the hammer back. It's it keeps him grounded more than a lot of other superheroes.
I can see that, but then I look at characters like what's her face? You know the one, the new one, Captain Marvel,
Miss Mar, yeah, yep.
which
That one is nothing more than quips, and this is the formula we want for the quote unquote perfect Marvel movie.
well, it's just like, you know, it's not even. It could be a dude. Like there's no, and of course I'm on the fast track for cancellation, but I'll say it. Whatever. It could have been a dude character. The fact that she had no flaws. There was
Mhm.
like, or her flaws were like not actually flaws, and they're just things that like, it was like self doubt was her biggest flaw.
Yeah.
There were no struggles. There were no
Yeah.
challenges. There were like actual challenge. Like I don't know. Like just
She was like a half step away from being a Mary Sue.
exactly. And there's also Gary Stews. I want to make that clear. There's
Mhm.
absolutely
Oh, yeah.
like it goes both ways. You absolutely, it's just, but the idea of a character that can never be challenged and never has anything go wrong for them. It's just like, it's not fun to watch because it's kind of like, you know, going on a power fantasy in Skyrim where you, or, you know, Bethesda game where you just console command yourself in a bunch of skills and equipment. it's only fun for a little bit,
Yep.
and then, okay, you can kill enemies with one hit, and that's, I guess there's like
Yeah.
pretty scenery to see, but that's about all you got going for it.
Yeah. The world gets empty very fast, is what it feels like, because it doesn't feel like anything that happens matters, because, oh, it's gonna get solved. There's nothing to worry about.
Well, and even then, it's absolutely not limited to, um, you know, I would almost take a shot at No Way Home here.
Yeah.
Just because, like, or wait, is it No Way Home? The newest Spider-Man movie.
I think so.
But just like,
Well, not counting like the Spider-Verse ones.
right, yeah. But it's just like, other than the struggle, like the whole, oh, Tony's gone. No, because that was Far From Home. So Tony's already been dead for a while now. So, like,
Yep.
the only struggle he had was a self-inflicted problem, and the solution was a magical solution that makes everything better. Like for me, the takeaway should have been like, you can't, like, it should have been what Doctor Strange, like, I don't know, did you watch the movie or like familiar with it?
I haven't seen it.
Do you at least know the plot line?
A little bit.
Do you care about spoilers? Because I'll
Not
know.
at all.
Okay, so spoiler alert for anyone watching. So Spider-Man wishes that at the end of Far From Home, Peter Parker gets revealed as Spider-Man by J. Jonah Jameson, or Mysterio / J. Jonah. And so he goes to Doctor Strange, and basically he's like, Doctor Strange, make the world forget that I existed. And Doctor Strange is like, no, that would fuck up reality. And Spider-Man's like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyway. So he steals one of Doctor Strange's magic gizmos or whatever and changes reality. And that's what brings all of the characters from Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's universes into his universe.
Right.
But one of the plot points, like midway through the movie, Doctor Strange is like, okay, you know what? We can fix this. The way to fix it, we need to send them back. And what happened was all the characters were taken from their universes. Were at the point where either they died or otherwise were defeated by their respective Spider-Man. So they would have been sent back. Doc Ock would have been sent back to the end of Spider-Man 2, where he, fell underwater.
Right.
Sandman would have gone back to like fading away into dust or whatever. All that would have happened. But in this new Marvel Cinematic Universe, nobody ever struggles, nobody ever fails, everybody has a magical solution world. Peter Parker, boy genius, which granted he is smart even in the comic continuity, but he figures out that he can use nanobots or whatever to reprogram them to be good, or at least not bad, and basically like save them from their particular issues. Like Jamie Foxx Electro, he like fixes his like uncontrolled like energy siphoning or whatever. Doc Ock, he fixes the neurosis from the tentacles like talking to him, stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know what? It basically drove the second half of the movie.
Yeah, that's just destroying the characters. So you can't fix the villain's problems. That's not how you keep a villain interesting.
And it was just like, that was the second half of that entire movie. And unfortunately, that means that, the movie was twice as long as it needed to be, because it should have been as simple as, Peter, you fucked up. You shouldn't have, tried to change reality or warp reality. Send everyone back. Yes, they're going to die. And it's like, there's your moral. Like, some things maybe not fated to happen, but like sometimes you need to like accept reality as it is.
Yeah.
You can't just wish your way into a magical world where everything's better and you win. Not every time.
Right. Even heroes have to accept defeat sometimes. It's what keeps them relatable.
But yeah, so that's just an example. Like Peter Parker himself, I guess, like not really a Gary Stu, but just the whole movie. Like it's not it's not Miss Marvel specific. It's just their formula now. It's just so the confrontations don't like
Blase.
yeah. Ever since Endgame, there's no meat to any of the conflict happening.
Yep.
I'm trying to put you back, and I'm keep rotating myself by accident.
Hold on.
Yeah, I was about to say you can control yourself, right? Wait, where are you? Where are you trying to go?
Wrong button. There you go.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh, that didn't fix me in ears. Okay.
Yeah, you were fine. I just had you. So like I had you on the ceiling, which had you the right way up, but you mirrored yourself, so now you're facing away from me. I mean, I guess if you don't want to talk,
How did I get mirrored? What?
I don't know. You pressed something, or did I press something?
I don't have any. Nothing I'd have should be able to mirror me. What?
Oh, I control click. I didn't know you could control click to mirror things.
Oh,
Fascinating. You learn something new every day.
interesting.
All right, let's get back on track. Now I'm done whining about Marvel. Anime. Anything that you're looking forward to watching that hasn't come out yet? Maybe a second season of something, or...
I know it's been out for a while. I really want to go back and watch the kind of recent remake of Shaman King.
I remember that series as like one of those series that would air on Toonami, right?
Yep.
But I never, in terms of the Toonami programming block, the only one of those I ever got into was Dragon Ball. Never got into Naruto, never got into One Piece, never got into Shaman King, never got into, what's the puppet one? Is that, no, it's not Shaman King, that's,
Puppet one.
it's like a puppet, Zatch Bell, I think?
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Zatch Bell.
none of those I ever got into other than Dragon Ball. I don't know, it's just never really appealed to me.
No, that's fine. That's fair. Shaman King was neat. I really liked the idea as a little slime of the whole JoJo style fights before I knew JoJo was a thing. Because face it, that's what Shaman King is. It's JoJo for kids.
I might check it out. I mean, I'm always on the hunt for new content, although my backlog is massive enough, so...
Yeah. So when it comes to Zatch Bell you mentioned, that's not bad. The absolute best of it is the Very Melon song.
Very melon.
Let me bring that up for you.
I'll play it for everybody.
Here you go in Discord.
Let's find
It's
it.
Yeah, it's a fella they defeat basically through giving him melons. Zatch Bell did not take itself seriously.
Catch my hand, very melon.
Very melon.
Oh man. Okay, so you know I was saying before about how amazing and awesome and wonderful Japanese fiction is? It can also be really fucking bizarre.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In fact, I'd say like, 60, well, probably more. 70+% of it is just completely unfathomable to our brains, just because of cultural differences and stuff, I know, but
Oh yeah.
you start with
Honestly,
a different baseline.
Yeah. That's part of what makes it interesting for me. Just seeing what weird things they think are way more funny than we do, or etc.
Well, have I got a surprise for you, because apropos of nothing, it's now time for the lightning round. I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible with as little thought as possible. Are you
All right.
ready?
I'll try.
All right. First question. What is your favorite weather? And it can be conditional, like being inside on a rainy day.
Light drizzle. Slightly overcast, light drizzle.
Okay, okay. What graphics card do you... Okay, you already answered this. What graphics card do you have? The 3070.
Yep, 3080.
Oh, you have a
3070,
3080.
yep.
Wait,
3070. I spoke wrong. 370.
I was about to say 3080. What are you, a millionaire? Yeah, you farming Bitcoin over there, son?
If only I did that back when. Oh god.
I,
That's the dream, though, isn't it?
I could go down a whole rabbit hole there, but we're in the lightning round. Anyway, what's your favorite color?
Green.
It's not black, not yellow.
Nope, green.
I'm judging you. I don't know why,
So-
but
Here's the deal. The color combination here is because A, type of creature,
mm,
right?
right.
And B, Okage Shadow King for PS2.
Another one of these, I don't means nothing to me. But
So Okage the Shadow King is a RPG. Its main character is Ari, and very early in the story, he gets his shadow possessed by an evil demon king.
mm, and
If you look it up, you'll see some very telling imagery.
Okage.
It's in the Discord.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's awfully familiar. Anyway, back to the lightning round. What's your favorite? Nah, that's all good. It's weird to see. Like I'm
yeah.
inspired by Alucard-ish, kind of, sort of.
Oh yeah.
And also a character named Midnight from a gacha game that I don't want to talk about.
Okay.
Anyway, what's your favorite ice cream
Gotcha.
flavor?
Ooh, that's kind of a tough one. Strawberry or raspberry cheesecake.
Fruit kind of person, I see. Not so much
Oh,
about the chocolate or the peanut butter or anything like that.
Yep.
I feel like there's two different routes. People either are like super into fruity flavors or they're into like those, I don't know, rich flavors. What would you call it? Like, you know, like dessert flavors. Like, I guess
Mhm.
fruit's dessert too. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
Yeah, I am a sucker for sweets, man.
why'd my lightning disappear? Okay, I guess lightning. Okay,
Good
lightning
question.
round. It's back. Next question. Do you wash dishes by hand or do you have a dishwasher?
Dishwasher.
Oh man, I wish. I actually have a dishwasher. I just never use it. I don't know why. I'm weird.
I mean, sometimes you gotta wash by hand. You gotta, but
I just don't do enough dishes, frankly. Make enough dishes.
yeah, fair. Fair.
And the final question of the hour. Pineapple on pizza, based or cringe?
Depends on what else is with it. By itself, no. If you pair it with ham, yeah, sure, why not? I can take a good Hawaiian pizza.
Everyone's had a different type of answer for that. Like one person was like, "Oh, I don't mind. Like I don't like it, but I just want other people to be happy." Another person was like, "Yes, totally." Another person was like, "No, not at all." And that,
yes,
that-
the ever present disagreement.
well, you know, some people try to be super accommodating, and I don't know. I just think of it as them trying to come up with excuses not to be nailed down on a single answer. But I can appreciate your conditional.
Yeah.
It's a very specific narrow window, and like I understand, like, you know, you talk about like a Christmas ham or something, and I know sometimes those have like pineapples stuck on them. So,
Yeah.
and that ends the lightning round. That was it. It's only 6 questions. Really,
Yeah, fair enough.
and we also
Lightning's lightning. It strikes fast, strikes hard, and it's gone.
strikes fast, except we like went on like 3 different tangents.
They were short tangents. It's fine. Lightning tangents, even.
All right, and last but not least, we have the video game world. This is the last segment of questions. So, in our last segment of questions, I need to ask you, what is your favorite franchise or IP in the video game sphere?
So that's really a tough one because there's very obviously a very deep place in my heart for Okage Shadow King. It was my first PS2 game. I used to identify very heavily with the main character. Uh, but I think current day, when I go to favorite franchise or IP, I'd almost have to go with Jet Set Radio.
Damn. I mean, in a good way. Weren't you playing, what was that one game you were playing that, like, felt like Jet Set? You know, the indie game? Remember that?
Tagline. Yep, I was playing Tagline a while ago. The devs have been very happy to reach out to me about that.
Didn't they give
I
you
actually,
a cameo in it?
Yes. If you run around one of the early areas, I am a graffiti in the game.
I might, I mean, not to, I know people say this, like, generically, but I unironically might check that out, because I like Jet Set. Kind of like it was like Tony Hawk, sort of, like, pro skater feels, except, like, you actually had stuff to do other than just do tricks.
So you're aware of what comes out in 9 days, right?
Holocure version 0.6. I don't think that's what you're
Bomb
talking about.
Rush Cyberpunk.
Is it like spiritual successor or something?
Spiritual successor has music by Hideki Naganuma. It's made by the guys who made Lethal League, which by itself is a very fun, very obtuse fighting game. But the style is so there.
Oh yeah, that I just pulled it up. Yeah, it looks exactly like Jet Set.
I'm super excited for it. It's going to be fun. Team Reptile has not made a bad game yet.
Go ahead and pop down my wish list.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
How do you feel about the Subspace Emissary minigame of Smash Brothers?
Man, I won't say I loved it, but like I wish Smash Bros had more stuff like that. Wait,
So what
Wait.
if they mixed that? What if they mixed that with Custom Robo?
that would be, I mean,
Megabyte Punch.
I never played Custom Robo, but like I wanted to, but like wasn't that JP only?
I don't know if it was JP only, but I know it was GameCube.
Oh.
No, it couldn't have been JP only. I know one of my friends has it.
Interesting. Another one added. Oh, it's available now. I'll check it out. Yeah, the Subspace
Yeah.
Emissary. Like I liked. Like it felt like such an afterthought, as I'm sure you're. Like it just. I liked the cutscenes.
Yeah,
I
it
liked
did.
the idea, but it's like they didn't really. Like it just felt so
Yeah,
cool as an idea.
Yeah, it was a cool idea that unfortunately felt kind of tacked on. Megabyte Punch makes a whole ass game out of it.
Nope, keeps trying to play a trailer. But yeah, I'll take a look at that. Yeah, it's like, you know, I was envisioning like going through the Metroid levels as, you know, Donkey Kong or something and punching space pirates or something. But instead it was like
Yeah.
a bunch of like generic robot enemies or whatever, like, you know, enemy robs.
Yep.
Oh wow, this is so occasionally
Right.
you had those tiny little, like, I almost argue Melee's adventure mode did it better. Especially,
Right.
specifically in Melee, the temple, the whatever. Stop playing,
Yeah.
stupid Steam. I had to close the tab. But yeah, the temple,
Yep.
it was like the third stage, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that.
But I wish that like the timer had lasted longer on that, because I love to kind of explore and see what was going on there.
Yeah, there was so much just fun ideas put into that turned out so well, and then just wasn't fully utilized.
Do you have a favorite genre?
This one's I don't think I do. I play too much of too many different types of games. Like I can go from one night playing an FPS, like an old FPS, like Unreal,
Mm.
to the next night playing an RPG, to the next night playing a horror. What's it called when they use live action animations in
FMV?
games? Yes, an FMV horror game that where you're a wizard.
Fascinating. Disseminating answer. Disseminating? Is that the right fancy word? There's a word for deferential. Anyways. Man, I keep
I
locking
don't
up.
know, maybe.
I'm just gonna leave my neck like this. I don't care to fix it. I'm just gonna sit like this now.
Just got a crick in your neck, that's all.
What is
Uh,
a game or franchise or genre that you wish you could get into, but you never find the time to?
Ooh, actually, I'm gonna go back a step. I think once I really think about it, my favorite genre might be non-Pokemon creature collectors.
And I have to ask, why not Pokemon?
Because Pokemon limits itself too much. Like Dragon Quest Monsters takes breeding to a whole different level where you get whole new monsters from breeding two monsters instead of the same monster. They
Hmm.
treat them like actual monsters, not like, I don't know. It's weird to say Pokemon's too realistic in that, but that's kind of what it feels like, you know?
Well, it's like more like systematic, I guess. Maybe is what you're going for.
Yeah.
Like everything fits into
Yeah.
mathematical formula, and you know that as long as the the mother will always be what kind of Pokemon it ends up being, and it's
Yeah.
going to be that kind. But yeah, like the experimentation
Yeah.
is more
The
appealing.
experimentation, yes, because Dragon Quest Monsters lets you have the ideal where which monster is the male or female, changes up which monster gets born in the end if you use the same two monsters. And then the ability for monsters to have a longer list of transferable skills based on what level they were when they had the baby, so on and so forth. There's more customization available to you.
I can get behind that because I go down the same road of caring more about like if you specifically like a game involving spaceships, if you have like weapon slots and there's 3 different kinds of lasers and 5 different kinds of missiles and 10 different kinds of guns, even if there's like an optimal one to use or that you research towards or whatever, I love
Mhm.
being able to choose, even if I always make the same choice.
Yeah.
But just being able to experiment and find out what's best on my own.
Yeah, it gives you more satisfaction when you get what you're trying to actually work. As for what game I wish I could get into but never had the time for, ah, up until recently, I was really jonesing to get in. I wish that I had played more than like 2 matches of Dark and Darker, but that's out now.
Why? Dark and darker, dark and darker, dark and darker.
So, games like Tarkov, where you get in, you avoid other players, you get loot, and you leave.
Mm-hmm.
And if you die in the game, you drop all the loot you had on you.
Right.
Dark and Darker is like that, but fantasy. Like actually taking place in a dungeon kind of fantasy.
Okay.
I like to call them loot and scoots.
This isn't the one that had like an
The
issue.
Nexon's trying to sue to keep.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, something with like the source code or something. They claimed the source code was stolen or something. Or...
Yep. Nexon has an active lawsuit claiming that Dark and Darker is just a stolen product they're putting out called P3.
I'm not even gonna go
And
down that.
I like to point out one thing though, just that one of the things Nexon pointed out in their lawsuit was these file names are the same as ours. It's like, oh yeah, Fireball.Unreal Engine
Oh
X.
yeah, they're like just Unreal ass. I remember I like watched one of those drama tuber or like, whatever, video essayists about it where it's like
Yeah.
literally just, yeah, they're the same name because they're generic stock assets purchased from the storefront.
Yep. There's so much just weird shit Nexon's deciding with that one.
Well, it's like Bethesda, the whole scrolls thing or whatever. Or no, was it
Yeah, it was
was
back
it was it Bethesda
when they
suing
tried
Mojang
suing.
or the other way around?
Yes. Yep, it was Bethesda suing Mojang.
And then they ended up not doing anything because Minecraft became one of the biggest IPs of all time.
Yep. Man, did you ever hear about the time that Mojang challenged a hacker to Quake for the right to make cheats?
I remember it super vaguely in the sense that like I'm sure I've seen it in a video essay. I watch a lot of video essays, just 2x speed because
That's fun.
But yeah, I do vaguely remember that.
That was such a wild, just happening. Because what fucking Notch had a lot to lose if he lost that match,
Mhm.
and that cheater had almost nothing to lose.
Well, I can give them props where it's sort of going back to the 80s/90s game dev world of just not quite rock stars, but just like kind of just
It was very much a devil may care attitude.
yeah, just like you're making games with the boys and not in like the Activision kind of boys way of like, it's actually like sexual harassment. Like, you're just a bunch of guys just who happen to be guys, and maybe sometimes there's a girl in the company who like isn't. Anyway, yeah, but it's just like a bunch of people hanging out, having a good time,
Mm-hmm.
and making a game while they're
Yep.
at it.
Oh yeah. God. Speaking of speaking of game companies that do weird shit, you ever looked into Starbound and Chucklefish?
I wouldn't say I've looked into, but I've played Starbound. Every once in a while, like maybe annually, I'll try to restart it using Frackin' Universe, of course.
Of course. You basically can't play it without that anymore at this point.
It was
But
such a. I mean, it's a letdown, obviously, but it's just like,
Mhm.
one of the things with Terraria, however the hell you say it. One of the few things that let me down about Terraria was that there didn't feel like there was anything bigger. Like, yeah, that you like there was like a meta story if you like dug into the lore of like, oh, the Moon Lord and like his eyes are actually the eyes of Cthulhu is actually well, whatever. But like,
Yep.
But it wasn't like Dark Souls storytelling. It was just anyway. With Starbound, you had the opportunity to have a good explanation for why you're going to these different planets and why you have to keep going to like, oh, you need to go up to frozen planets now. Oh, you need to go to lava planets now, whatever. And then it just turned into all those pre-made dungeons, and it was just like,
Yep.
quick little dungeon crawl, kill enemies, kill the boss.
Were you involved at all when it came to the old forums for it and trying to get data out of the people to actually say like, hey, when's this alpha you've been talking about coming out?
Nah, I never really wade into the forum battlefields of anything like that. I'm always on the sidelines of that sort of stuff.
See, I've kickstarted exactly 3 games at this point, right?
Hmm.
And Starbound is the one I regret.
Damn.
Even though it came out, I regret giving them my money.
Yeah, I mean, came out being a really relative. I mean, it was a product, technically.
Yeah. The worst part about it is the alpha versions, beta versions, whatever, before release were legitimately funner games.
Weren't they in I remember, maybe I'm thinking of like, because I know there's a bunch of drama with them and Terraria and Blue or Red or whoever. I don't know. They're all color names. But wasn't like Chucklefish like trying to shove out Starbound because they like had some other project they were going towards or something? Like I don't know. Like I can't keep track of all this drama.
Not really. So, Red is the guy who founded and still runs Terraria's dev team, right?
Okay.
Maybe in Red Digit. Blue used to be a forum moderator. He quit at some point. Tai Yuri, his first big thing was being Terraria's pixel artist.
Mm.
He's the reason why Terraria almost got sued for using a Final Fantasy I sprite.
Oops.
He's also the reason why Red did not include mod support from day one. He's the guy who's the CEO of Chucklefish.
Ah. So basically, he was like, I'm going to make my own development studio with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah, and a puppy in the office that we've never shown pictures of again after like the second week because we didn't puppy-proof our wires.
That reminds me, you know John Romero's story?
Oh, which one?
Just him, Ion Storm, Daikatana, all that.
Ah, yeah.
Where he was basically like, John Carmack. I mean, to be fair, John Carmack wasn't much better in terms of like just being super just product minded. But Romero was like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if? And Carmack's like, no, we got to work on the next engine. Just fucking make the game. And just story doesn't matter. John Romero's like, I'm gonna make my own game studio with blackjack, and I think like literally blackjack and hookers. Like he spent millions on a lease for an office just so they could make a super substandard game.
You know, the funniest part is there's mods for Daikatana out now that make it pretty playable.
I should inflict that upon myself at some point, because I've never actually played Daikatana in any form.
Same.
But it's like it's a morbid curiosity, right? Everyone's talked about it for, decades now.
Yeah, because it's just one of those stories of how far can you fall?
Hubris is a bitch sometimes. Although...
and don't VTubers know it?
Wasn't Ion Storm or something... In some way, they're responsible for Deus Ex, right?
Yeah.
It was like a subsidiary company or something ended up.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
That happened, so... Good job, John Romero. You did something good.
Right, even if he wasn't involved in the company anymore at that time.
Alrighty, I think that just about wraps it up for my questions. Now, this is your opportunity. I sent you the list of questions. You can have 3, count them 3, 1, 2, 3 questions to ask of me. Any of the questions on that list you see before you.
All right. I'm going to go with the first one of what motivated you?
So, in 2020, all the bad stuff was happening. I wasn't, like, as bad off as some people in terms of, like, mentally, financially, whatever. But I did sort of get that sort of miasma. I sensed that just everybody was feeling down. And then at some point, I actually discovered it through Corpos, but, related videos on YouTube. Just one accidental click of a video by Shirakami Fubuki or something. I think it was Fubuki. But, one Hololive related video, and I accidentally fell down. And it was like the characters or the people, the VTubers themselves weren't like what appealed. It was more like their effect was what appealed to me. The fact that so many people were like, these people are cheering up people and bringing a positive, maybe not cheering up, like I don't want to make it too sappy, but like, people looked forward to their creation, their content. And I was like, I can be an entertaining guy. But then I didn't actually have any sort of model or anything for a while, so I just kind of put it on the back burner. But I eventually decided, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. Because I want to be a streamer, but I want to show my face. Oh wait, I'll show my anime face. And so here I am.
All right, that makes sense. Let's see. Let's go with what kind of stuff do you like to see most out of streamers?
So I personally, if I were to like watch any particular kind of streamer specifically, variety would probably just be my generic, answer of, oh, I'll just, watch a person who plays whatever. But I really like watching people who are like super dedicated in a specific kind of game or genre of game or game like, oh, I'm a maybe not Apex specifically, but like, oh, this is a guy who only plays Risk of Rain or only plays Soul Calibur or stuff like that. And it's not so much about like what they're playing in particular, but more that they're like super passionate about it and they know the ins and outs of it, but they also have fun with it. Like
Yeah,
example is Save Him. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but like she pretty much only plays
I'm not.
Hitman.
Huh.
And she plays all the
Okay.
Hitmans, the Hitman games.
Yeah.
And obviously with the Hitman games specifically, there's some degree of openness to just kind of trying out new stuff. Like you still have a linear-ish experience, but you can do
But
crazy.
there's so much exploration of what's possible. Yeah.
And next thing you know, you have a room full of guard bodies or something.
All spilling out help.
And then the C4
gosh,
shows
okay.
up.
Hooray. Okay, I'm gonna go off script.
Okay.
What have you done in your streaming career so far that you are most proud of?
Well, this is a new one for me, in a good way. The thing that I've been most proud of would probably be... This is kind of a cop-out answer, but not really. I would say this past January when I restarted. So what I mean by that is last July, August timeframe was when I like started streaming for real, we can call it. I had a I have a ping, I had a character finally decided, etc. But then just the first wave of just negative reaction and feedback kind of got to me, and I just lost all motivation for it. I even stopped participating in the Discord communities I was in and just kind of went radio silent. But then actually making the decision this past January again to finally come back to streaming and saying, you know what, screw, all these people's opinions and whatever. Okay, they think I'm bad. I think I'm bad. You're not gonna. Okay, wow, congratulations. We've come to a shared conclusion. I'm mediocre. So what? I'm gonna keep creating content because it's what I want to do. And if you don't like that, too fucking bad.
And practice makes perfect. So eventually, you'll get good at it. Eventually, if you ain't now, right?
Well,
As long as you take a little bit of time to reflect, you'll get good at it.
Reflect, and like every time I hiatus, actually, I came back, and then February I was done again. But I was done because like I was kind of resetting myself, and that's when I actually reached out to and got my live 2D and stuff. And then it just kind of dragged on where I was just waiting for... First I got the art, and I was like, okay, well, I'll start like ping streaming with the art or something. And I was like, you know what? I waited this long. Let me see what my artist, because she also is a live 2D artist. It's like, let me see what her like wait time is. And she's like, oh, I can be done with it by like April, I want to say. And I reached out to Marbachino, who was my rigger, and I was like, hey, if I had a model done for you around X time, how soon would you have it ready? He's like, oh, probably like beginning of May. I'm like, okay. And then I sat on, I got my rig, and it was all ready by like early May, and I sat on it for a month until I came back in June. You know, because
Nice.
I was in this big rush to get my L2D, and then I promptly sat on it and did fuck all with it.
I mean, hey, sometimes you just gotta get that motivation built up.
Yeah,
Starting's usually one of the hardest parts.
I guess it was that. Just sort of like I kind of got used to not streaming, not content creating, and it's so much easier, you know, to just sit back and only absorb content and not have to
Oh yeah,
like
it's a lot easier to be a sponge than it is to actually output unique stuff.
yeah, it's like I mean, I still play I play games offline stuff. I'm not one of those people that's like I only produce content on stream. I never do anything fun if I'm not live. But it's just so much easier to just sit back and play a game when I don't have to think of any interesting commentary about it, or I don't have to talk about, you know, how my life's been, or I don't have to think
Yeah.
about, well, I know some people just say you should stream whatever you enjoy and what you find fun, which I do, but look, I'll be honest about it, you know, call me cynical. I do to some extent say like, you know, oh, does he even play well? Like for streaming. Like I would never stream a JRPG. Not because, you know, oh, I'm a slave to the algorithm, but it'd just be
Mhm.
boring to play on stream. Like,
Yeah, JRPGs are one where you have to be able to create emergent experiences well to be able to make them have decent viewer retention.
yeah, I'm just, you know, maybe I can get into better practice about doing stuff like that, but that's just an example though of like the sort of content where like it's just algo hell and whatever.
Yep.
Call me. Oh, I'm not only worried about numbers, but in this case, yeah, it's like why would I stream something that I really don't have the capacity to talk over, comments over,
Yeah.
to nobody?
Hmm.
Like I'm not going to inflict that on someone is the way I view it.
Yeah.
Because someone who might be like, oh, I want to support my friend Charlie, you know, if it's like even like a fellow VTuber in like my particular sphere, and they just lurk in my stream, but I want active engagement, you know? It's not it's
Yeah.
which is
It,
cool. I love having
active
people.
engagement. Yeah, no, it makes streaming so much easier when you have people who are actively interacting with you because it gives you energy you can bounce off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like I absolutely, you know, if anyone's here who's watching or watching the VOD or whatever, like I absolutely love that there are people who, you know, will hook a homie up with a view, but
Yeah,
I don't want
lurkers are the backbone.
they are the backbone, but it's just like I feel like I'm not doing like if I could be playing a an action heavy moment to moment, you know, shooter, something with like maybe not jangly keys, but like something where like, oh, there's something happening. There's constantly input and
Yeah,
stimulus. I would rather watch that. And so I want the kind of viewer who'd want to watch that, engage with that, and like laugh at me when I screw up, or say, wow, that was cool what you just did, as opposed to playing a
yeah,
JRPG where I'm just like, all right, here we go. I'm grinding levels. Yep, mash through. Yep, okay, we beat them. Okay, let me speed
yeah,
up. That's just boring to me.
J- yeah. JRPGs, a lot of them tend to be something where streaming them rewards either system mastery, complete inexperience, or what was the third one? Something I forget what the third one was.
So probably something that has nothing to do with the gameplay itself. Like
Yeah,
it's
the
just
ability to
background
make
noise.
things out of. Yeah,
Well, for a similar reason, it doesn't even have to be JRPG specifically. Like Factorio, I think that's actually in
yep,
my question that I suggested for you, or like sandboxes and builders. Yeah, like I would love to get into Factorio, but I have tried to, and I've gotten some way into it, but it's just like I hit this point where are you familiar with Factorio at all, really?
Oh yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay, well, like I'll get to the point where I'm like, you know, I've reached purple science and I'm like running back and forth going like, okay, hold on, I need to build, 5 more of the, wait, hold on, okay, I need to make 2 more of the, wait. And I'm just like, sometimes I'll just stop in my base and be like, what do I do next? And it's just, there's so much dead time where I'm not actively pursuing my goal, which,
Yeah.
it's just like, some of it's inexperience, but a lot of it is just, keep getting sidetracked. Where I'm like, oh, I want to, oh shit, I just got a cool, because I play with mods, because, whatever.
Yep.
I can't even get through the vanilla experience, and here I am throwing mods. But I like the combat aspect anyway. But I'll be like, oh, I just unlocked a cool new turret type. Let me spend 2 hours of complete divergence from the goal of the game to crank out, all these new turrets that I just built, just to replace them in a couple hours. Oh, and you need to make
Yep.
ammo for them, which is, it's like just so much time spent just sidetracking.
Yep. Ah, man. Personally, those games that end up being a lot of optimization of optimization of autonomy tends to be hard for me to get into.
It's like art, where I can appreciate it. I would love to be able to do it, but I'm never going to be able to do it, or it would require a significant amount of time investment. And so
Yeah.
I watched the cool Factorio videos of someone with like, oh, here's my automatic artillery train that like, is programmed to go to areas where there are enemies and attack them. And it's like, that's cool. That's amazing. That's Minecraft too. Like, oh, I made this big redstone mechanism. That's awesome. I'm too smooth-brained to follow along or ever achieve anything even close to that, but I can appreciate
Yep.
your effort.
Yeah. I'm way better at building things with much looser tools. When it's in a game, the tools tend to be too rigid to be able to do that kind of stuff for me. You've probably seen me talk about Sammy before, right?
About sanity?
Sammy, Sammi.
Oh, yeah. The streaming software, like, yeah. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can take that and do fun stuff with it, and I just enjoy making weird shit in that. But Minecraft is just too rigid.
See, even that. I mean, hell, like, I don't know if you've at all caught me, like, just, like, screaming into the void that is Twitter/X/whatever, or Discord, but I just picked up learning Japanese 2 weeks ago, after a decade plus
Yeah.
of... I'm finally becoming a real weeb, Mom, but...
Wow.
But yeah, it's just, like, even that. I'm passionate about right now, but it's just, investing time into figuring out how something works. And I can only really do one of those things at a time. And right now, learning Japanese is that one thing.
Yep.
Oh, Coat
Makes
stopped
sense.
by. Hey, Coat. I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever actually directly talked with him.
Coat's a cool guy.
It's always been like... So, like, all the names, like Grimmy, Coat, Flavorful I've kind of talked to. But, like, a lot of the people that you mentioned, like, I've seen them. So, like, I know them by name. I've sometimes watched their content. But it's just, like... it's like, everyone... We all have our little spheres, right? Like, I'm not gonna, like, name names. Like, there's, there's people within my sphere who, like, some of them are intersected with your sphere. And it's just, like, I find it cool how there's, like, all these little ecosystems building up in the indie space where you don't have to be a corpo to be known or be like, yeah, just I don't know where I was going with that point. It felt salient at the time.
I mean, it's kind of fun seeing even small streamers have legitimate connections to larger streamers. Like,
Me to you.
uh, I, I, I
Uh,
wouldn't consider myself a larger streamer.
I mean, by comparison, you're like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna like try to like sit here quote numbers, but like by comparison, like you, Abby last week. I'm not, I'm not, I'm not
No, I
trying to
get you, I
leech
get
off you guys or anything. I'm just saying
No,
that's
no,
like,
I wouldn't accuse you of that by any means. I know what you mean.
but yeah, it's just like I'm not only interacting with, other 100, not sub on Twitch, 100 follower people. I'm rubbing elbows with people with a couple hundred, who are in turn rubbing
Hmm.
elbows with people with like 1,000 or two, who in turn
Yeah,
might occasionally interact with 10k sub people.
yeah. So, do you remember the VTuber who's graduated now, Lord Commander Chaos? You ever see him?
The name is familiar, but I can't say I ever watched him.
Okay. Well, I mentioned Charborg earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Chaos is graduated now. He's doing some live stuff through his Twitter. So if people have seen him, he's owned up to being Zuthar13, who used to hang out with Charborg. So through various means, so I've talked with him a bit. I've chatted with him a tiny bit about stuff. So there's like small degrees of separations between very small streamers and very large streamers. It's kind of funny.
Oh, there's one particular person with whom I like have regular interaction with. Definitely not gonna name names, but like through that person, I'm within one or two contacts of, let's just say, like medium-sized corpos.
Hell yeah.
But like I wouldn't like it's they're like
It's you don't want to leverage that for your own growth, especially when people will just say, "Ah, you're leeching."
that too, but also like they're also in like a different sphere. Like the reason I'm interacting with this person, it's like outside of their normal content. It's
Yeah,
still completely like the only reason I'm interacting with them is on a professional level, but this person
right.
makes, X kind of content. I did a side project where I helped them with Y, but like I wouldn't
Okay.
want to try to interact. Like I don't belong in their sphere. I helped them out, and I was fine with doing that. I wanted to do that, but like I just yes, I technically am those handful of like who's it? I could probably Pippa probably. I'm like 3 degrees of separation away from Pipkin Pippa, but
Hmm.
I would never. Savvy just raided us. Just in time.
Hey, Savvy.
Oh, the gain's getting back together. Golf gain.
Golf.
Maybe we should do that, man.
I would be against it.
I've actually got I've got a collab with Savvy on Friday. Who is it? Savvy, Sin, and
Oh, what was another
Kaz.
S? Was it?
Kaz.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But yeah, we gotta do golf.
Hell yeah.
Jolf.
Be a fun time.
Yeah, I'll
Golf.
we'll arrange something in the next couple weeks, I think.
Yeah.
See what old hands, maybe some new faces might be interested, because we don't want to just make this an old boys club of, oh, it's only those people who know each other from back when X.
Right.
So, yeah. Savvy, you came in just the perfect time to hear Hazmat. Shout out anything that you've got coming up, Hazmat. Any events, any special, anything, celebrations, birthdays, stuff like that.
So it's not particularly close, but October will be my 2-year anniversary for streaming as a VTuber, so that'll be a fun time. I've got some ideas planned, but nothing really concrete currently, unfortunately.
Oh, that's fine. It's kind of a shotgun. I say that, and I never actually expect anyone to actually have something planned, because you know, we. It's actually weird to have events planned, or like it just so happens to be your anniversary coming up. For all that, it seems that I see someone with a subathon or uh, I don't
Mhm.
know, like a charity marathon or something. Like I feel
Oh
like
god.
I see people do that, but then I never actually hear about people's upcoming events until like a day or two
Yeah.
prior. And that's like, oh shit, this person's got their big birthday stream in 2 days. What?
Yeah, part of it is that data doesn't tend to get out easily until very close to the time.
The advertising is hard. Coat is correct.
Yeah.
He speaks the
Yep.
truth.
Oh, for sure.
Well, it doesn't
Well,
help. I'm guilty of this myself. You kind of find yourself in an insular community of, the same people. And it's hard to reach out, to break free of that bubble of, oh, I only play with these people. I only talk with these people. I only Discord with these people. Sometimes you just gotta reach out
yeah.
and be like, let me see if this person who I think is quote unquote above me or whatever, hey, you know what? Maybe they'll do a collab with me. Maybe they, something like that.
If if you have an idea for for what could be a fun collab, always reach out. Always. People appreciate you taking the time to reach out to them with ideas that are fun.
Indeed. And with those words of wisdom, sorry, I had to say that. Couldn't let a moment go unwasted.
Fair enough.
All right, it has been actually this is probably my longest running experience yet. Good
Wow.
job. No, in a good way. Like we,
Yeah, no, I get
it's always like it's nice to have somebody who's able to keep it going. Nothing disparaging against my previous guests, but
Of course, of course.
when you're able to go off on those tangents, it's so much easier than, all right, let me read through my script of questions, and it's only been an hour. Well, shit, now what?
Yeah. So, quick semi tangent. Have you ever watched Craig Ferguson?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, if you haven't,
Like,
check him out. He's a good place to get weird questions for people.
like one of the only good late night hosts. Is he, like, still actually hosting? I don't know. I only ever, like,
No, he retired from the Late Late Show in order to just live more of a family life kind of deal and deal with his comedy routine.
respectable.
Definitely my absolute favorite late show host, though.
No, yeah. Conan, I'd put, like, he has a different personality entirely, but Conan I'd put up there.
Yep.
Um, Jay Leno, like, I like him as a car guy because I am a car guy, but like I never
Oh yeah.
really, like, I don't know. I'm basically like comparing this to Jimmy Fallon, who's just unfunny and
Yeah.
annoying.
The problem is I feel like Fallon and a lot of the current nighttime show hosts tend to go off a script too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Conan, Leno, Ferguson, they tended to kind of just go whatever they had in their head at the time.
True. There's
Like,
definitely
it was a recurring bit for Ferguson to just throw his notes away as soon as the person sat down.
and just kind of let the wind blow where it may.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
You
Fallon.
want to steal a bit from him before we leave?
How so?
The awkward silence bit. Yeah, so
It's been fun, Hazmat.
it's definitely been a good time.
Appreciate you stopping by. And yeah, well, I'll be in
Yeah,
touch for
thanks
golf.
for having me. It was a fun time. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Glad, looking forward to it, man.
All right, so now I have control over you, so we're gonna just. All right, bye,
Oh, no.
Hazmat.
Oh.
Just ignore him. He's done. He's gone. The slime can't hurt us anymore. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by the Charlie Drexperience. I've been your host, Charlie Drex, the host with the most, or some. Okay, maybe not like a partial amount. I'm the host with the minimal viable amount that I need to still be a host. Appreciate y'all stopping by and watching my good friend Hazmat. He is a good friend of mine. We don't talk as much as we used to. Actually, we never really talked, but he's a cool guy. You should check him out. Like, unironically. I'm not saying that just because I just had him on the show. Like, he's a cool dude. You should watch his content. He's got great text-to speech programs. You can have Daggeth TTS for him. It's hilarious. Yeah. Go watch him. And we've got an exciting guest next week. You'll see on Sunday. She will be very interesting to have on the show. Once again, if you want to stop by the Charlie Drexperience, I'm open to pretty much anyone of any size. I don't have like any minimal standard. If you're a 0 view and you think that you can be a compelling guest, feel free to reach out to me. Probably on Twitter, I guess, maybe, or Discord if you have my Discord. Yeah, I need more people. Please, I need more people. All right, we're gonna raid Abby. Man, what a crazy crocodile. Because Abby just started streaming, so we're gonna hit them with a nice big boost to their numbers right as they get off the ground. So all of y'all take care, have a good rest of your night, and I hope to see you, if nowhere else, on next Wednesday's Charlie Drexperience. I'd love to see you tomorrow night for whatever rain-themed game I end up playing. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Jump cuts every 5 seconds. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Charlie. Oh, we're gonna play the game. Watching swoosh right in. Swoosh!
You see, SpongeBob, me boy, I'm mining Bitcoin.
And now, the winner of this year's egg hunt, Charlie Drex.
I hate you. Anything within, like, what, 100, 150 pixels of me, just get